Hello, it's a pleasure to have you again on the program Conversation. My name is Elizabeth. It's exciting moment, exciting period for all of us. About this time of the year, we all look forward to getting together, having that reunion, and a lot of times we spend a little bit more than we sometimes plan. Yes, it's true. But in doing all of that, do we take cognizance of the fact that little things we do could expose us on the negative? And while we are doing our festivity, how much attention are we paying to security? Yes, someone, that's exactly Captain Scott Kelly, said that security is everyone's responsibility. And quoting it just the way he says it, he says, everyone needs to know that they are empowered to speak up if there is an issue. More or less, if you see something, say something. All right, this show is conversation. That means I won't be alone talking. We have a lot of people with me here, actually three of them, and three of them are well vested in their various capacities to speak on this issue because everyone is a security agent. I'll let you do your introductions yourself.
Okay, my name is Ruth Dumade, family clinician and a mind coach. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know that some of you will know me, but anyway, for those that don't, I'm Lola Oduba, a producer.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I am Dr. Hassan Sadiq, security strategic expert.
All right. I know that when you walked in, you said, "Well, am I the only man here?" And I said, "We are going to devour you," and you said, "No." What was that you replied again?
Yes, I said I think I'm lucky to have the three beautiful women here. Two on my right
and one on your left.
On my left.
All right, so it's a blessing. That's
Lucky
I decided to pick on that because life is actually what we make of it.
Sure.
Some other person could see the other way. For him, every turn is a blessing. And so while you celebrate, is it really a blessing? We'll be talking about that right after now. Don't go away.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take his pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh,
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes. If she wants to ask something, no, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that and I said,
The show is Conversation, and we're looking at festivity and security. I started by quoting Captain Scott, and that's because what he said is imperative for me. It is my, place to ensure that I'm safe and my loved ones are saved. But speaking of that, how do we expose ourselves and loved ones to security issues? Maybe I'll start with those of us who are not really experts.
Okay, let me go
Yeah,
first.
it's okay.
Why not go first? You're on the right.
Okay, there are several ways we actually could expose ourselves and our family members. I think one of the very, very important things right now, because of how social media is growing, social media is one of those pain points where we could expose ourselves and our loved ones. And you could be in social media and you can profile somebody in less than 10 minutes deliberately.
What do you mean by profile someone?
That means you go through the person's page and start studying certain things. If you understand what you want to achieve, you'll be able to pick 1, 2, 3 things about the kind of things the person loves, the kind of things the person does, the kind of people the person associates with. That is it. That is your target. If you just want to just go surf through the net, and you may not see anything. But if you want to be deliberate about why you want to search for someone, sure, you will see things about the person's either personal life or little about certain things they are not saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me also, fantastic. You know, for me it's also our environment. When we get to a place, it's about studying where you are. You get to a location, whether it's your home environment, whether you are at an event, you want to look at the people that you're around, you want to look at those who are around you, you want to look at possible exit points if need be.
Yeah.
So
Very important.
possible exit points if
Very
need
important.
be. You know, so for me it's really about the environment.
Okay. Let's let
Yeah,
the-
thank you. I think for me as a doctor, to put it on the pedestal, that we need to understand clearly. You are talking about security festivity. First of all, festive we know is a gathering, socializing, and all that. Now bringing issue of security. The one that attached to festive is what I called defense security.
defend.
Defense.
Okay.
Defense security in the sense it is a form of security to protect life and property. Nigeria territory land is a property of Nigeria. It needs to be secured. Now bring it to an individual who appear in festivity. You look at the locations, the movement, as earlier said, the exit, in case the need arise. But the essence of that is defense of life and property in an environment where there's festivity. Either in a gathering, in a social gathering, in locations. Because if you are having a social gathering in a location which you call festive, you need to look at the exit point, you need to look at dimensions. In case there's any attack, how do you escape? If attack is coming, how do you defend it? That is why it's bordering on defense security. And defense security is about life and property. That is why I said if you say in nations, your territory is a property of Nigeria, for example. So wherever you are, that place needs to be secured for whatever activities you plan to do and to achieve it at that particular time.
You know, in public speaking, when you talk about exit points and all of that, I recall in public speaking, I'm told that if you're going to be a master of ceremony or compere, whatever you call it, you go ahead of time and look around the environment.
Scan your
And
environment.
just as they do in the aircrafts, you get in
Yeah.
the attendants, yes,
Hostess.
the hostess, take time to tell you how many exit points, where you are, and all of that. So I think the master of ceremonies should also inculcate that habit of telling us where the restrooms are, you know, where the exit points are in a particular venue. And event centers should have as many as possible because anything can happen. But that's speaking about events and when it's happening. But within this period, there is usually what we call massive exits or exodus from usually the bubbling and hustling city centers back to the hinterlands, probably for family reunion and a lot of traditional activities going on. How again do we expose ourselves, you know, to eventualities and issues around security within this period?
Location.
Location, what does that
Location.
mean?
I mean, a lot of people, you find, back to what she said, social media, would want to go somewhere. I'm here. And then,
Oh,
you
yeah,
want
tagging
to
yourself.
tell everybody where you're at. You want to tell everybody this is what I'm doing. So we expose ourselves like that. If a lot of us really can begin to see social media as, yeah, it's social media, it's there, but really, should I really expose myself to the dangers of what it also entails? Because like everything, it has two sides. It has the good, it has the bad. Just as what she said, it depends on what whoever is looking at it is looking at it for. So I mean, I think we can help ourselves by being a bit more private, especially with our personal lives. You know, being a bit more private, especially also with our children. You know,
Yeah, that's very
with our
imperative for
children,
me. Yes.
you know, very important that we try and protect them in, you know, in however form we can.
Sure, that's really a valid point, to be sincere with us. You see, because of several persons' personality, they respond to fun and anything differently. There are some persons, they may have the best of life, but you may never see them on social media. Even though you see them on social media, you will see them either doing businesses, doing either advising, encouraging, or you will not see them showing where they are based on your location, the location you were talking about. So when you go on air to say, oh, this is where I am, two things will be happening. For you, you may just be having on harm phone, but you don't know who else is watching you. So those are the things I think you have to take really, really, really important. Despite how you're outgoing there, you love fun, you just love, I'm here, this is where we are, my family, yeah. So despite that kind of thing, you must be deliberate this season, especially when you know our security challenges. So when we say security is everybody's job, first, before you start looking for police, navy, and every other person, first be your own police by yourself. To know what to post per time and to retrieve. Another thing I would love to talk about is festive period is beautiful. I love it. Because that is the period you want to connect with loved ones you've not seen in a while. That's the period you want to network. In fact, for some people, that is the period they want to wed. Because every other person is coming back, so that the party will be full of life. Yeah. So as much as we see that as a reason, there's other reason. COVID came to teach us something. You can have your moment, your fun moment, connecting with people without actually being in that location. So even something that is not so urgent, I think this season is a time that we can have any moment within where we are. So it's something we should take, because now January around the corner.
You pay bills.
So at the end of the day, you start putting yourself into undue pressure because we have to celebrate. So I think this is something we have to start putting and paying attention to. If you don't have any reason why you have to leave your location, stay where you are and have your fun.
Still speaking on that and how we expose ourselves this period, socially making movement. Are there precautions? Some of us will be traveling by road, some will be traveling by air. You know, what are the security challenges we could face as we go, and how do we ahead of time, mitigate that?
Yes, I think this is coming at the right time, because I, as a person, about 2 weeks ago, a colleague of mine, precisely Dr. Palong, who is coming from Jos to Abuja, he was kidnapped.
Kidnapped?
Yes, along Kefi axis before getting to Abuja. After he was kidnapped, we get the information immediately, and our social media group will cut it off. Why it is important? So that the kidnapper will not know your personality, people you relate with. If we were to talk about issue of social media here, because through going through your profile, we'll be able to know the kind of people you have, who they are, what is their what, which can now lead to maybe a huge negotiations and demand. So as soon as we get the information, the first thing we did is to cut off.
To block him off.
His number, to block him off, so that some of us who are still on the social media, he cannot get access. So lucky, the drivers went after embarked them, and now went to police stations to report. Police now say, okay, well, you have reported, it's a good thing, but you are not going. You need to wait for further investigations. At the end of the day, I now realize that it is the driver who took them from motor park to the dense hand.
It's a lie.
So these are one part. Now the lesson you need to learn there, if you are bringing it to festive period, it is that in your movement of traveling, don't be too flashy.
Great.
Because by the time you are flashy, you become
Attract.
vulnerable.
Sure.
Then it shows what is your what. And look unassuming. So that in case such things happen, then you will not be looking at someone that, oh, this person, if we kidnap this person, so amount of money can come out. That is one. Two, be watchful, the driver, the conductor, if they have the conversations from the time you get inside the car and the time of movement. Because if a driver is in the steering, is either texting message with his phone, you should be able to ask, who
Why
are you
using your
communicating
phone?
with? Because your two hands supposed to be
On
in
the
the steering.
steering.
Yes, these are what you watch. If he said anything is happening along the road or in the vehicle, you should watch, you should be careful. So that if he's stopping unnecessarily, you should be able to ask questions. Why are you stopping here? There's nothing wrong with the car, you don't need to stop.
Yeah.
If you want to buy fuel, where is it buying the fuel? So these are things you put in terms of
everybody's
mobility from one place to your locations. But getting to the locations of festive you are talking about, yes, that is why first of all, it's a defense security. Today, most ceremony, even in the local places, there's a point where people gather, where for the ceremony to take place. No matter how the ceremony is little, they should have people who are on guard,
Sure.
watching. Because if, for example, we are here today, somebody is at the gate here. Before you come in, you should be able to ask the questions and look at you. What are you here for? Possible for attack. Because even ceremony, it is nice to snap that this is the ceremony and keep as record. As well as even sometimes you are busy, you might not even have time to look at your phone to even snap. But what about people who has intention to come and attack during that time? So that is why no matter the ceremony you are having, either a wedding, a marriage, or whatsoever, people should be on guard. Because currently, we are in an era of uncertainty,
Yeah.
where unassuming anything can happen. So on that purpose, I would advise that people should be on guard. If I travel to my village today, possible want to have a traditional marriage and a wedding, at least 2-3 people as men should be on guard, watching this venue. In case anybody which is not well known is coming, they should be able to ask questions. Where are you
yes.
going? Are you part of the ceremony? Are you invited?
Yeah.
If you go to most of the ceremony today, they have a bodyguard on the gate. If you don't have IV, sometimes they say you cannot enter. All that is a form of defend the people who are inside, to make sure those who are not invited should not get access into the venue for them to cause mayhem.
Yeah,
So watchdog
yeah.
and asking questions is paramount at this time.
Yeah, there is something I want to add to that, sir. Your phones
Yes,
are indication of your worth sometimes.
that is true.
Even when you are not even worth anything. Yeah, especially financially. Because there are certain phones some persons hold when they are traveling that I think they should keep it somewhere and take the ordinary phone, because those are the things people watch to profile you. Another thing is your bank app and your alerts. Deliberately delete your alerts. Consciously delete your alerts, and when you're traveling, especially on the way, remove your mobile app. When you get to your destination, reinstall. So these are little things we could do for, because those are the things people used to. For instance, they get you. One of the things they go for first is your phone. And one of the places somebody will want to go to is your account balance. Yeah. And they go to your account, so it is your money. You know the last withdrawal you did and what is remaining. Maybe they've given you your delete. Those are things we should be doing. Because don't be watching. I know there are some of us who want to be watching their light and be smiling at ourselves, with ourselves and for ourselves. So we should be deliberate about that. When you do those transactions, consciously delete. So adding to that personal security.
You know? Okay, go ahead.
And all the use of laptops. A lot of people put laptops on the chair seat. You understand? And You have everybody looking into your car and everybody can see what you're worth. And even those who are posing as policemen, sometimes may not be policemen, they stop just to see what you have in the vehicle. Just to see, because they've already arranged for some other people in front to actually wait for you. So I mean, all of these are the things that we need to put into consideration. And also, I mean, he spoke about events. When you are leaving the event, whatever it is, wherever you're going to, they may not be allowed in. I mean, the miscreants may not be, but they could be outside. So you want to look at the surroundings when you're about to leave. Before you get to your vehicle, you want to look at who is beside you. You want to look at how many people are beside you. If you can have an entourage, if you could move in groups, it will live. If at least if you go to an event, most of the time you may have 1 or 2 persons besides you. But if you don't, just be vigilant before you enter your car, before you get to your destination, and when you get to your destination. Because most of these attacks really occur when you are about to enter into your location or when you are about to leave the location.
Okay, just adding to that,
Yeah.
Someone sent me a video and I made my deductions based on what I saw that I think is important, especially for us women. Our bag is one conglomerate of a whole lot of things. Anything can happen inside our handbag. Really.
Yeah.
So you carry your handbag to shop. Always ensure that your car keys are right here. And if your car remote is not working, try to fix it unless where you cannot anymore. Because it's important for you to try to open your car as soon as you're getting to the point. It's not the time to go and start fiddling into the handbag, find the key. I'm almost always a culprit, but I try to remember, pick up your car key and open it as you're going. And when you get in, please enter the car, shut the door and lock. It's very, very important.
Very important.
Enter the car, shut the door and lock even before you start your engine.
True.
Because a lot of times things happen around, and when you try to hang around a little bit, somebody is coming on you. But speaking of the bank thing you said, bank gives you option of receiving your alerts either as an email or as SMS, or you can actually do the two. So I would rather subscribe to doing the two. So that way, the alert on text messages can be removed. The one for my email, you only need to get to my email to see it. So I can decide to open my email on my laptop, which is probably domiciled at home, and get to check some of those things when I am on a road trip, like you mentioned. So at some other time, when I'm more relaxed, I can work with the SMS. So I think we should insist on asking for alerts, both as email or as a text message, or we can do the two of them at the same time simultaneously.
Yes, to buttress that, I have a personal experience in regards to that. I think it is very good that if you are traveling, especially on the movement, where you have your own personal car, you are in need, you might not be able to have a security or police to follow you. It is good for you to have possible a small phone, that this one, the one that is big where you receive the alert, you put it off or you hide it somewhere. Why the one is with you at the small phone that does not carry any messages, you cannot profile it. Because I've been attacked.
You have been attacked?
Yes, that is
How
why
did it
in
happen?
2016, precisely August 15, within
Don't forget those days.
yes, within Abajana and Okene, there's a bend where the bend, because of the bush growing and all that, a trailer was in front. There's about 3 or 4 cars in front of me. I was driving on a hillox. Now, what I did is that I used this guy's car. Precisely, a car that the body is not too flashy. It is better for you. That is why I said, you look low-key and you look casual. The essence is for you not to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Now, the next thing we hear, they come out of the bush and shot a moving car, a trailer. And the tire now starts deflating and they now stop, go slow, now start piling. We have to stop. They come out of the bush firing the AK-47, lie down, lie down. So, but unfortunately, when they move towards our side, they just look at the car and see the pickup and feel, this is nothing, and move to the next. While the person in front, I remember vividly, was driving a Highlander. He was brought out and give a dirty slap to lie down, and the woman was kidnapped because she dressed in Igele and moved inside the bush. So the point is that at this time of festive period, if you are to travel, if it is necessary, because to me, if you travel in a low key, and one aspect of the low key, don't travel with a flashy car. Don't dress looking flashy. That is why I said, if it's possible, you have a small phone which is Nokia for answering and receiving call. It's okay for your journey. By the time you arrive where you are going to, if you have a big phone, you can now put it on. At that
If
time.
a small phone can
But
even
this
do
is
the job.
on the movement.
I mean, the
So that
phone
the
is your
alert
own.
is
What
not
are you showing up
Because
for?
we need to realize that these people also, they are smart.
Yeah.
The first things, if you are caught, is to open your phone and go through your text messages, as you said, to see your account balances. Then even if you don't have money, for you to be able to operate account and having such things, meaning there are people who can brought out huge money if they are demanding. So that is why anything that will lead to that, don't even have it with you.
Okay.
So those are personal experience which I have experienced. It's a life experience because I see it. Yes. So that is why I said the car was able to add help, because they came immediately and saw the car and look, oh, this car is started, and moved to the next car that is flashing.
So, talking about that,
Yes.
location. She said something about location. You see, sometimes we're on our way to Lagos. We update
Yes.
at the airport to Lagos, at this park to Lagos. We are on our way to Port Harcourt. Friends, peeps, on my way to Port Harcourt. And those things are supposed to be your personal thing. So even though you're going to Port Harcourt, you have to tell someone you're going to Port and you want to upload it. When you arrive in Port Harcourt, now start uploading. You get me? So these are little things we have to be very conscious about. And another thing that is very important is some persons are routine based. Because of that, they follow one way to everywhere they are going. So when you're going to anywhere, know several ways. When you're coming back home, you could take this route. Be changing it, because people that want to follow you, they can do that. I know this road, you will always 10 o'clock, she's passing. 2 o'clock, you will see her, you will see them. So be deliberate about it. When you're going out, you could take a route. Coming back, change
Take a
routes
different route.
consciously.
Be deliberate.
So be deliberate about it.
Yeah, it's important because people, it's only someone who knows you very well, except for accidental ones, like you said, that will really, bring you down and get you done with. But speaking about traveling, still, we live in cities, and while we are in such places, we make efforts to ensure that we are comfortable.
Yeah.
But at a certain time of the year, we evacuate it and go to reunite, with our people, living where we are staying, at a very open risk.
Yeah.
Someone once asked me, why do you leave your security lights on? You're very rich. I said, I'm not rich. I'm a poor civil servant. My reward is in heaven. But you see, these security lights is what will help someone know when someone is entering my house when I'm not around. It's intentional, like you said, it's deliberate. A lot of times we're traveling, we leave our windows open. I don't know, you are in that area. How can we ensure that our homes are safe? Someone was on this set and told us a story of how armed robbers came to our house on the 23rd of December, when everywhere was locked up, and they had a ball in her place, after which they had how do you call it, souvenirs. They took all her TV, gas cooker, after eating everything in her fridge. Because it was empty. So, and that's because certain lash was not put in the right places. What should we be doing as we're traveling to ensure that we protect our homes?
Yes, if you are traveling, it also depends where you live and the kind of a gadget you put in your home. For example, most houses here, if you see it, we have burglary protector.
Okay.
Which if you travel out, they don't have it because they have less such insecurity. Now, if you are traveling, I advise you make sure all your windows are locked, are intact. But you must leave your light on, especially because it's the light that indicates whether someone is there or not. Because if I came to your places maybe around 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and I see a light, I assume somebody is there. Because if you are not there, the light possible might not be on. So on that case, if you are traveling, maybe you know you are not going to be around, make sure you lock your window, you close your door, and you on at least the entrance light is there. When you have put all this in place, at least you have done some level of form of security. Then white people who have today, now you can have a camera that maybe they use battery and all that, which you have to leave it on so that in case of any movement, any intruder, before you come back, the record will be recorded. And these days, you can be in your village while you are watching your home due to the kind of camera you fix there.
Premium.
Because you can now,
Premium people
yes,
that can
next to
afford
it,
that.
as far as where you are, there's a network, you will be watching it. So it's also if you can afford it. But in the event that you cannot afford all these gadgets, you make sure you must lock your door. Then the front door light must be on, so that for the period you are not going to be around, then you on it down. In case anyone come, then he'll be able to see that somebody is around, but not knowing that you are not.
Okay.
I think this is a measure you have to put in place. Okay. Because when we even talk of security, yes, sometimes we only do the needful in case, which is that is your ability and that is your level. So then sometimes we said you leave the rest to God.
Again, I want to add to what he just said. You know, I mean, a lot of us live, we really are not our brother's keeper anymore. You know, we live on a street, we're not friendly with neighbors, we don't know who is my next door neighbor, we don't know who is, you know, I mean, you don't know people around. You know, even that is a great security. If you can have a relationship with those that live around you, because your next door neighbor will know when you're around, will know when, even if you don't talk to the person. I mean, you're in your house, the person knows when you are entering your house. They know the sound of your car. You know, so if they already know these things, why not be friendly with them anyway if they are good people? Why not be friendly with them so that if there is an intruder in your house, you are not around. Guess what? He would alert, that neighbor would alert other people, and people will know. And even when you're in an environment, I mean, the more friendly you are in that environment is of advantage to you. Coming together, having a neighborhood watch, coming together, having whistles. Anybody notices anything that is
I used to live in one estate. There was this girls' guide kind of whistle.
Yeah, true.
So if you see something, blow whistle.
Yes, exactly. You know what I mean? You'll be amazed at those little things, how they go a long way. That's for those that cannot afford the cameras and stuff. You know, once you're not around, people are watching for you. They know, oh, they are not around. Anybody I see, who are you? What are you doing here? So that enough. It goes a long way as well.
So
you know.
That is a very valid point. You know, I don't know where, probably because of past experiences from some persons or just mindsets. They love their life. They say, I love my space alone. And they brag about it. Forgetting that your neighbor is that your brother that is not even around you. Your brother is far away, probably in Gombe, Katsina, and you're here in Abuja with somebody in your compound. You don't have as little as having the person's contact, because you say, I love my space, I don't like somebody intruding. So those little things are personal securities, because you, even though someone did not intrude into your compound, you may be going through difficulty if probably you're alone and you don't even have somebody around you that you can just pick up your call or your phone to say, I'm dying, I need your help. So those are the things we need it. And we have to be deliberate with our relationship with people. We know that most people that are attacked deliberately, that means the ones that, you know, these ones, they are ready for you. We know they are still members of our household. We know they are our friends, our colleagues. We know that. But at least there should be this one person, these two persons, that should be able to say, this person, at least to this extent, I may not allow you to this place, but I can allow you to this. You get me? So I think it's something we should.
I mean, okay.
Yes, I wanted to buttress that. Yes, I think to a large extent we lost it. Where we are no longer our neighbors' keepers and all that. But also looking at it from the other angle, You know, sometimes they said too much familiarity brings disrespect.
Content.
Because there's where maybe, as you said, you live in an estate, you feel that, oh, this is my neighbor, I should extend a hand of fellowship. But why the other person did not look at it from that angle, where from women start saying, oh, you are looking at my husband, or you are looking at my wife. No, those things are really why some people now decide to say, no, I should be and stay within my space. But despite that, that should not leave the general security. What we are saying, don't go into people's personal affair, but make sure what combine all of us together, because security is everybody's business. Because the more I secure you, the better I secure myself. Yeah, there are people sometimes ago where the person said, look, he want to fence the estate where they live in, where he went to take a neighbor to seek their consent and everything. The person told me that the person's wife was saying, no, they will not contribute to this. You shouldn't sign anything. The manager said, no, go ahead and do it. At that time, we are not yet in the era of insecurity. That if you don't secure your neighbor, you have not secured yourself. That let them know that you are not asking them for any contributions, but you want the consent of all. That look, there's need to fence this block of flat so that all of you can live in peace. It is immediately he do that, the issue of Boko Haram, insecurity becoming more hype. The man now can say yes. So those who don't know, relate with your neighbor. It is nothing to go into personal, but whatever combine all of you, always make sure you take part. Because the more I save myself, the more I save my neighbor, the more I save myself.
Definitely. And I wonder what is wrong with me traveling and I walk up to my neighbor and say, if it's Christmas time, Merry Christmas, Barka de Sala, I'm going out for 2 weeks just in case. I know my neighbor doesn't come to my house, but then he sees me go out in the morning and come in the evening or whatever. Like you said, I'm going to be away for a while, so you guys stay in peace and just keep one small eye around my environment. There's nothing wrong with that, really. It's how we were in the past. And in some other places, it's still happening. But now we have actually, gone away from that, and it's killing us even further. I was going to work some time ago. I saw a lady walk up to a neighbor's apartment, and I was almost moving off. I said, this lady, I remember she told me she was traveling, and she didn't tell me there was anybody going to her house. So I stopped the vehicle. I said, hello, come. She came. I said, who are you? She said, I'm a cleaner here. What are you cleaning? When people are not in their house, they asked me to clean. I said, stand here. I took my phone, called her. I said, there's a lady here, and she said she's a cleaner in your place. She said, oh, I forgot to tell you. I told her to go and clean the house. I said, okay, now you can go in. She didn't ask me for it, but I did it. So because I want to believe that if it's me, some other person will cover up for me too. So, and there is something else I notice in certain areas. I think it should actually go round for people. Once a lot of people are moving, some people are not traveling, some are traveling. So what they usually do, because there is a depletion of human presence within the area, they contribute and make extra efforts to get extra security. Sometimes they walk up to the police, sometimes they use the private outfits. So, but within that period, if it's 1 week, if it's 2 weeks, that a lot of people will be out, they pay extra. So there is presence of professional security people within that environment. So I think this is an extra effort, and a lot of people should commit to it, like the estates, street association, community association. We should do that more often to ensure that we protect ourselves. I don't know, you were going to say something, I don't know. Or you want to add something to that?
Yes,
Okay.
because, human beings were of different. In a setting where, in a community or in a estate, or like example, a block of flats, there are situations where a particular person feels to be part of the security.
But if we don't have
It
such
has
human
happened.
beings, then the,
Yes.
the place is not
Not
complete.
balanced.
Yes, not balanced. Yes,
There's always that
exactly.
Judas.
So it
You
has
always
happened
have people
why
like
the person
that.
refused to contribute to security. But people continue. I think one day an incident happened. He now try to come back and see. Because we have often said, it is only when you have insecurity you now know the advantage of security.
Sure.
If you don't experience it, you will never appreciate it. So,
Yeah.
but no matter what, anywhere you are, people should volunteer. Who, just as you said you did. Possibly the person might not do that if you are not around. But because you have taken it upon yourself to be your neighbor's keepers and watch and all that, I only advise in the situations where you have lived with 1 or 2, 3 people in the same whatever, somebody must always be the lead to make sure you look into certain things that will make sure the whole place is safe. Because once your neighbor is not safe, you are not safe. Yes.
All right. So, still moving on insecurity and festivity. We earlier mentioned about events and the environment and all of that. Not too long ago, someone told me that his cousin, or did he say stepbrother or cousin, but something like that, somewhere in Ibadan, they all went out to drink and funny things happened and the young man died. So I think within this period, we should also pay attention to what we consume when we go to places. It may not be intentional, but the plates you're served with, the spoon you're using to eat, how neat has it been? You know, it could have been kept in a place where roaches, would have crawled on it and you ingest certain things into your system. But I think whenever we are having to attend function, if it were possible, like Lola said, we should go with company that we can trust. I don't know what your take is on that. I don't know what your take. Company you can trust.
A group of persons,
so if I'm going to get up to do something, somebody should keep an eye for me because my bag, for instance, has been stolen in a wedding.
Your bag was stolen.
Yes.
Yeah, because
I was
dancing, celebrating.
I'm turned this way. Before I turned this other way, they took my handbag.
Your bag is a designer bag.
To be sincere concerning that, the human mind is so deep and dynamic. You don't know who is out there looking for your downfall. You don't. Some of them may not be particularly about you as a person. They came to do their own thing.
For every ceremony, there's always business.
They just always come. Whether be it in the mosque, be it in the church. You see, you're doing your praise and worship. Someone is stealing something in your bag.
That's true.
Do you understand? So, if you want to go out, there is nothing wrong with you carrying your bag along with you.
True.
Carry it along with you. There is nothing wrong about
it. You want to dance.
Hold
your
it.
bag.
Hold it. Because you accept the person you came along with, you really know the person.
Yes.
Because some persons is the person that is there. Yes. They don't even know if their seatmate is the person that came
and
there.
And if you have a drink, ensure that you finish your drink before you move.
Don't leave your drink
open. If you come back, if the drink is still open, please leave it alone. It's not by force you must finish that particular one.
I think to buttress that, I think we need to imbibe by consciousness. Because even a man too, where we're in the crowd, we have babariga. Sometimes we have to fold our babariga because people put hand in our pockets and put
Inside your babariga.
Inside your babariga. My money has been picked. Yes. So
sorry
it is
about
normal. Yes. So the point is that it is time for us to be more conscious. When you are in an environment where you have more
it's
or
so
two
pathetic.
people. It's so pathetic.
It is so pathetic that we are living.
What?
We are
so
living
that's why
a
I
life
said, even
like
women,
that.
what we do now as man, when you wear a babariga, you are in a marriage ceremony, you are there, there's a crowd. What we normally do now, there's a way we fold your babariga and bring it front.
Deliberate
and hold it, deliberately. So even if you bring your hand, it will just be going like this, so you cannot enter.
Oh God.
No, because I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah.
And next time I announce, okay, I know what I'll do.
Sorry,
you can't
is
get
that
me
why you
again.
went into security business?
No, that is not the reason. As I've said, security, if we are to look at it, we often said is new in Nigerian institutions and in Africa, which also why it also put us where we are today. That is why I've often make introduction that what we are talking about is about defense security. There are economic security, there are transport security. And in fact, these days, security is changing in traditional form. Those days in 60s to 70s, if your daughter come home and said, I've seen a man who said he wants to marry me, the first thing you ask him, which family?
Yeah.
But now the first thing you ask your daughter, what does he do? that is security. Meaning, you cannot give out your daughter to someone who cannot cater for her. That is economic security. So that, yes, so
security.
there are forms of security.
Yeah.
Yes, a nation also need to look at its own security, because when you lack economic foundations, you lack economic security.
Yeah.
And that will give you security challenges to a large extent.
How did we get
Security
here?
is everything.
It's sad. I think it's because
Sad.
of greed and all of that. But I don't want to take away the spirit of the season, because everybody's celebrating. And
Yes.
if we are celebrating, we must always stay happy. Let's not use security to take it away.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take his pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and
Yeah.
say, oh, you know,
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
yes.
If she wants to ask something, no, I know